Brodes Media.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Brodes. The Rockies are the worst, and I mean the worst baseball team ever. I've never seen anything like it. I thought the White Sox a year ago, who managed to win 40-something games, was dreadful. Then I watched the 2025 Colorado Rockies. I feel bad for these pitchers. These double-A pitchers that have to face Bryce, Kyle, who hits one 3,000 feet for his 300th bomb of his career. Trey is able to go the distance. Bohm is able to go the distance. JT has a really strong game 3. The Phillies did what they needed to do. They needed to take all 4 games. I would have been pissed with 3. I would have been angry if they won 3. So they did their job. And for the most part, it was a breeze. First game took them a bit to get going. Okay, but they figured it out. Thursday during the afternoon game, which is today, yeah, it wasn't as explosive as the 17 hits, the double-digit hits, consistently scoring 9 runs. But you got to walk out of Colorado with 4, and they did. And I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer guy. They won 7 straight. They handled business against bad teams. That's what they have to do. But this almost, for me, feels okay. Let's say you're in 8th grade. You got a pool in your backyard. You got a nice amount of lawn. You're playing wiffle ball. You set up one of those chairs, which is the strike zones, one of those plastic chairs, and if it hits where your back goes, it's a strike, or if it hits the leg of the chair, it's a strike, whatever the house rules were. But you're playing 3rd graders. So you're in 8th grade with your boys. You're playing your younger brother and his friends who are in 3rd grade. You're pimping home runs. You're hitting them over the fence. You got to go collect the 7 wiffle balls that are on the other side of the fence every single half inning, and the inning's not even over. They didn't even get their 3 recorded outs, but you got to go collect the balls anyway because you're killing them. Then they cry. These are 2 totally different playing fields. And because of that, I have no idea what any of this means. I have no idea. Luzardo was great. Ranger was great. Sanchez gave us a quality start. Well, I knew they could do that without this series. Is Bryce turning it around and maybe seeing the ball? Even if it's not against the greatest pitchers in the world, seeing the ball, getting multiple hits, getting the long ball involved, a double as well. He was one of the only few to be able to generate anything off Paul Skeens in that series finale versus Pittsburgh, so there's a hit on that box score. He was able to produce a run in this 2-0 win to secure the 4-game sweep against the Rockies. So, listen, maybe that's momentum building into an Oakland series or whatever the hell they are now against the A's, another bad opponent who is under 500, and they'll probably continue to cruise. And then when you eventually get to see a strong squad, maybe Bryce is on fire. And just the fact that he was squaring up balls against weaker teams and weaker pitchers allows for him to see the ball better when the talent improves. Maybe. But all this talk about, look at how many points Bohm's average went up. Well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm even starting to hear about Tanner Banksy turning it around. We're going to start relying on Tanner Banks, aren't we? What does that mean? I'm not mad at the Phillies for doing what they did. Not at all. But I was making it almost out of principle. A statement to not do post-game pods for this series. Because what was this? This was not Major League Baseball. This was tragic. This is disrespectful to the game of baseball, to professional baseball, to Major League Baseball. This can't be real. I mean, I'm watching the catcher in the first inning try and gun out runners over at third. It gets sent into left field. Now you're up 1-0 with the blink of an eye. I'm watching their hottest hitter in Tovar bunt in the first inning down 2-0 to move a runner over. What is that? Man, that's just the dumbest baseball I've ever seen in my life. You got nothing. You're one of their best hitters. Maybe you can actually do damage with a long ball to tie up the game 2-2. You bunt a runner over. Ball went right back to the pitcher. Easy collection. Throw it on over to first. It was nuts. It was nuts. The exciting moment, I thought, was, of course, what Kyle did to land that milestone, but also the back-to-backs from Trey and Harper. Trey worked about a 5-pitch AB on the 5th pitch. He sent it over the wall. And then, I'm not kidding, I looked down at my phone during that 5th pitch. I heard the crack of the bat. I realized that was a goner. I blinked. Bryce went yard. In one blink, 2 home runs happened. One look down at the phone, one blink, and I look up, and 2 solo shots were crushed. That's how quickly it happened. That's how fast it all generated. It's amazing. And again, for the 1,000th time, this is what the Phillies needed to do. Just take care of business and look like a dominant force. Look like a team that's beating the brakes off of a single A affiliation. But when they go on this hot run and then they have the record that they do, I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe it's a flaw on my end and it's an issue with me, but I don't know. They have this phenomenal record against teams under 500, which is, again, their job. And no other team has as great of a record against teams under 500 when you compare it to what the Phillies are doing. How does that relate, though, to how they're going to look against these fantastic squads? Not that they can't beat them. I think they can go toe-to-toe with these great squads. Mostly because their starting pitching is fucking amazing. Their starting pitching is fucking awesome. They have too much starting pitching. Yeah. So the fact that you have this many holes in your bullpen when you have these starters, time to have some uncomfortable conversations, Dave. Ranger, we love you. Penn. I know Ranger did well pitching into the 7th and not allowing an earned run. Bullpen. Mick Abel, bullpen. Painter, once you come up, it's going to be nice to see you in the rotation. Bullpen. Once we think about postseason ball and what you could bring. You got to have those talks. Go acquire an Estevez type of veteran bullpen arm at the deadline. A guy who's been around the block with experience. Plug him in as well. Romano seemed to get his head out of his ass, which is lovely. That slider, ew. Strom, okay. Nice strong start since the Jose Alvarado news. They've just been rallying and putting together wins consistently day after day. But that's how you have to bolster up this pen. And not many teams with this hole, the bullpen hole, can look across the way at their starters and some of these prospects and go, we have an internal fix because we need multiple men. So use that to your advantage. Don't sell me Tanner Banks and Joe Ross and Ruiz. No. I'm talking about trying to win a World Series. Those guys aren't helping you win a World Series. Now, I don't know if Mick Abel, after one start, is that. I'm willing to try. I know the other guys aren't. I believe if Andrew Painter is what's promised, David Price, there's plenty of examples of future starters that early in their careers need to help out a squad that is, competing. And if they're asked to switch their role, so be it. If you're as promised and you're as dominant and you're as filthy, then that should not be a problem for someone with the skill set and the attributes of Andrew Painter. I'm very proud of this team. But I do have mixed emotions because what they're facing is that anemic. Even when they play teams like Miami, when they play teams like Washington, there's only so much I can do when I consume the product. I smile. I get excited. I'm pumped up to watch them succeed and win. But in the back of your mind, it's not really about beating Washington. They should be able to beat Washington. Well, that's my takeaway against those type of opponents. This is unfathomable. I mean, it's hard to even think of words to describe what the Colorado Rockies are. The only reason why people are there is because it seems to me Philadelphians who are either visiting Colorado or have transported and now live in Colorado want to see their baseball team. And it's going to be a good day at the office and you're going to celebrate. You can hear it through the broadcast. Hell, last night on WIP, Abby was her name, was calling from Denver. And she goes, yeah, I've been living here for 20-something years. I'm from Philadelphia. And I was able to get to the ballpark a couple of times. I'm at the game. It's amazing. It's cool to see everybody in red. And it's the only reason why people are there. I mean, I genuinely do feel awful for everyone who has to lace up those cleats and go on that field that play in the purple, white, and black. That's trash. So is there a way to separate the emotions of good job, Phillies, standing ovation, stay hot, kid, to all the ones that were doing what they need to? And then on the flip side say, whoo! Because originally we were all informed, listen, May is a weak month. And then I actually reflected back on it and said, well, there's Arizona, there's Cleveland, there's Atlanta, there's St. Louis. Maybe there is more of a takeaway from this month than I'm giving credit for. I'm saying in April, I looked ahead and I looked at the schedule for May, knowing that everyone was talking about the easy opponents. And I acknowledge maybe we're a little off base and maybe there is some things to be intrigued about with some of these matchups. And to their credit, went into Cleveland strong, handled Arizona, and also had one of those epic fight backs, late that showed us something about the mental makeup of this team, even though it just ended shy. But still won the series. St. Louis came here on a hot run and punched you in the gut a bit. And we'll figure out what transpires against the Atlanta Braves. I mean, I literally have a thought here, and I have it written down. That's how much I've been thinking about this Brave series, just to build off the execution that they've been putting together. And it is, hold on, I have it written down here. I mean, that's how much I think ahead. When I'm watching these games, instead of actually consuming and digesting what's going on the field now, I go, all right, what do we got after the ace? Hold on. I have so many damn notes, it's not even funny. Bury the Braves. Bury the Braves. Bury them. It's the name of the show. Bury the Braves. I want a suite. That'll make me feel like Jeffrey Lurie watching the tush push. A teenage boy with wet dreams. Let me tell you something about my lawn. It's the best lawn I've ever seen in my life. And I can't thank Green Lawn Fertilizing for that help. I just got treatments 3 and 4 done yesterday. So it's day by day. I'm watching the progress. I'm already thrilled with what I have. I can only imagine what it's going to look like when all the treatments are finished. But my eyes light up every single time I open up the back door to let my dogs out. Every time I open up the front door to walk outside. And it's all because of the experts over at Green Lawn Fertilizing. Based in Philadelphia. Experts in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. They're so knowledgeable. It makes me laugh with how much knowledge they have in their brain. They've created their own custom blend, okay? And the first round is so important to lay the groundwork that they are offering for the first 2 treatments, 50% off. That is 50% off the first 2 treatments. And all you have to do is check out the link down below in the description of this podcast, and it'll send you right to their website. It'll say, hey, my buddy Brodes sent me. I was listening to his phenomenal show. Well, thank you very much. And I just listened to what he had to say about his lawn. I've seen the videos that he's been posting on his social media platforms, and I'm watching the grass blossom before my eyes, and I'm seeing the work that you've done over the first handful of treatments, and I need to start paying attention to my lawn so my house can look gorgeous. Let's get to work. That's what happens when you send that, click that link and you get sent to that website. That's what it tells those people. Let's get to work. I saw Brodes. I need to have a lawn like his because I'm jealous. My neighbors are jealous. My family's jealous. Everybody's jealous. You should be jealous. But here's the kicker. You can have a lawn just like this. Green Lawn Fertilizing. Make sure you check it out today. Okay, so what else we got? Taiwan's Day. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 68 pitches. That was the Tanner Banks, Joe Ross entrance to the game. Who else came in after that? What was it? Was it Carlos Hernandez who came in and allowed a couple of runs in that one? Listen, I got to be honest with you. These 8:40 starts, brutal. And you're going up against Eastern Conference Finals in hockey and the NBA, that Pacers-Knicks stuff. Phillies versus 8 wins Rocky team. You know? And the Phillies are getting 17 hits a night. Everyone's batting average is going up 50 points over the last 4 days. I mean, it's great. But what are we doing here? That's not Major League Baseball. It's not Major League Baseball. I wasn't watching Major League Baseball this week. So it sort of became second TV, off to the side. It's the 7th inning. They'll be all right. It's the 6th inning. They're up 6. No way in hell the Rockies are doing any damage. They can't string together hits. They suck. They suck. I think they'd be a 10-win team in AA. I mean, it's just egregious. I've never seen anything like it. The league has to do something about it. It's so bad. So bad. It is so bad. It's so bad. And it ruins it. I mean, it really does ruin the appreciation. Like, I brought up the Braves, right? And I know there's an A series coming up here and whatnot. But the feeling I have, and the feeling that's getting generated, thinking about that series in particular, I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait. The feeling I had when St. Louis was coming in. The feeling I had against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The feeling I had when they went to Cleveland. And it's not as if the Cleveland Guardians are some squad that should hit me emotionally. But they are a respected baseball team where I wanted to see how the Phillies match up with them. This is a nothing burger. This is you can't even fake the results mattering. You can't. So I'm kind of curious how fans out there consumed this product. I'd imagine similar to me, but more excited than me. That's my guess. My guess is just feeling the vibes, feeling the pulse, seeing some social media reactions. It's, you get it, you acknowledge it, You see what I see. You're never going to argue against what I had to say against who this Rockies group is. But you're probably appreciating the batting averages going up more. You're probably appreciating the 3 hit nights, the 2 hit nights, the home runs hit, and all that. You're probably a little bit more juiced up for those. I don't know. That's how bad Colorado is. Can't even fake it. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's get some reaction from the series, a 4-gamer. I had to wait till the end. I couldn't do day by day, game by game for a series like this. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. Let's go to Sean.
Not pretty, but effective. You did what you had to do. You can throw all the analogies out there that you want, but they won. I mean, sometimes the bats, especially with this team who does have a tendency to be feast or famine, you're going to have performances like this, but you can usually hang your hat on the starting pitching, and no exception today. The starting pitching for this team usually gives them an opportunity to win every night, and Ranger did again today. I mean, I know it's the Rockies. I know they're an abysmal baseball team, but pitching in Colorado is not easy. And, you know, to pitch a shutout there, or him in the bullpen, that's a hell of an effort that you needed today because the bats were AWOL. But nice series sweep. Keep the momentum going with Wheeler tomorrow night in Sacramento. Looking to try to at least get 2 out of 3 there and keep this road trip, you know, on a positive coming back home next week.
So 2 things. I do think against this Rockies group specifically, it is easy to pitch in Colorado. I do think it is. Not trying to diminish Ranger. I think it's very, 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 very easy to pitch in that ballpark. Very easy to pitch in that ballpark while those are the hitters standing in the batter's box. I really, really do. They're on pace. I think we looked it up yesterday to win 28 games. I think we asked Chat GPT or whatever. So I could be way off. I'm pretty sure that's the number. It was late. It was like 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. on the air. I was on till 2. So it was hitting towards the back end. If I looked at 8 and 41 or whatever, and I said, plug that in, see what that is over 162. I think they said something like 28 wins, 27 wins, 26 wins, something like that. Very easy to pitch in Colorado. Very. But here's what I'll say about the Phillies. In a very positive light here. It wouldn't have shocked me if they won 3 out of 4. Now, against this team, maybe it would have. Maybe it would have. Because they're that dreadful. But they are going to win 20-something games. And if they win 20-something games and you happen to play the Phillies 4 straight times, it's a 4-game set, maybe that's one of the ones that the Rockies pull out of their rear end. And maybe it would have been game 1. And then after game 1, the Rockies sort of lost their chance. I guess they could have won game 4, but good for you, Phils, for not dropping 1. Because you can't. It's unacceptable. It would destroy me to lose 1 out of the 4. And would it surprise you if this club did? No. But yes. Because again, to stress it, this team blows. Like, blows. They blow. You can't lose to this team. It's physically impossible to lose to this team. That's almost how I feel. It's impossible. They blow. Let's go to Carmen.
Brodes, Phils, 7 straight wins.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockies are a trash team. I totally understand that. And the formerly Oakland Athletics, they're not a good team. And we should take 2 or 3 of them easily. But why not? Why not sweep them? Have a 10-game winning streak going into the Atlanta Braves series. Why not? That should be the expectation, bro. 10 straight wins going into the Braves series. All that momentum. Why not? I'll take 2 or 3. But why not, man? I'm just saying. Phillies, dude, let's go. Let's go, Phillies.
Listen, if you were to look at the full body of work, even though the opponents are super weak, and you think about what they've done going into the Atlanta series, now that series is in Citizens Bank Park, so advantage you to be able to play in front of your home crowd. But yeah, I mean, especially if it's 10 in a row. Sort of like I was just mentioning. I mean, dropping 1 when you just play that many baseball games, regardless of competition, you think, hey, just bad day at the office, some strikeouts, maybe your pitcher just didn't have it and got shelled in the 3rd inning, and you just weren't able to explode and make up for that 1 inning of rough pitching, and you know how it can be. Then I'll probably look at the big sample size and say, I appreciate that rolling into the Braves. But bury the Braves is my number 1 thought. Going back, though, to the May schedule and thinking there was more value in it, now that I'm living in the wave of atrocious baseball, has it always been this bad? Are the Phillies that elite that when they face such weak competition, it looks even more drastic? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not used to the Phillies being on this type of high. Maybe I'm scarred. Because this wouldn't be the first time we've seen a team rattle off a bunch of success. But when you need them most. But they also never had this type of starting pitching. But the starting pitching is also feasting against teams under 500. Whereas, do you get the same Christopher Sanchez against a team that's 5 games over 500? Do you get the same Ranger Suarez against a team that is 5 games over 500? The answer could be yes. This stretch has me broken. For someone who is trying my best to balance, and that's what I do with the Phillies. Knowing everything surrounding this team and the circumstances over the playoff runs and the roster construction, the whole thing, knowing all the context around it, I've been very, very vocal about having my long-term worries, living in the moment, trying to balance emotions, not hating on the team and finding ways to appreciate the team throughout all these highs and then with the lows and, riding the emotional wave. I'm lost with this Pirates. Who did they just play? Colorado A's run. I do not know what to do with it. I have no idea what to do with it. Should I just shut up and take it? Probably. Does that feel wrong? No, it doesn't feel wrong. But I'm not getting all goo goo gaga. I'm not getting all in love. Heart eye emoji popping into both of my eye sockets. I'm definitely not that. All right, let's go to, I'm trying to see what day this was. This was Tuesday morning. So this was following Monday's game where they were a little slow to get off. They figured it out later on in the action and started the series off 1-0. So this is when this specific call came in.
Hey, Brodes. I'm a big fan of the show. I was watching the first game of the Rockies series last night, and man, that whole game was absolutely miserable. Me and my friend were thinking we were definitely going to lose the whole time, but after that game, I'm left with this feeling of, and like, why not us? I feel like this whole season I felt really negative on the Phillies like you have, but dude, this lineup, Schwarber hitting that nuke, the way they were able to fight and come back. I know it's the Rockies, but holy cow, if some of these relievers can find it, and if we can switch over some of these arms or maybe make some trades, I think I might actually believe now. You talk about that game, the Cincinnati Bengals game with the Eagles, how it felt like a turning point of the season. I don't know, man. Something about that Rockies game last night has me thinking. But maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Love the show. Thanks, man.
Huh. That's interesting. Huh. Do we date back to Colorado of all teams and think that's when everything clicked? They got some batting practice. They were able to put the ball on the tee. They were able to square up. Bryce was able to get going. That's what allowed Bryce to take off. That's what allowed Bryce to get back to his normal self. That's what allowed this team to feel confident and groove. I say I'm lost with this stretch of Oakland, Colorado, and Pittsburgh. But is it possible that this is what actually, when you reflect back months down the road, the turning point of the season? So it goes from lost to this is what found the team. This is what helped the team find who they are supposed to be. Forget being lost. This is the definer. Huh? I can't rule that out. Huh? You know what? That's a good spin on this. I can't rule that out. Because we are getting a vibe and a sense that they're rolling. They're rolling. Regardless of the team they're facing. They're rolling. Huh. And if this snowball just keeps rolling down the hill, getting bigger and better and bigger and better, and then it forms what you're looking for by the bottom of the hill, then yeah, you could look at Rockies, the 8-41 Rockies, as what gave you what you were looking for to create the spark you were desperately needing. I guess why teams like this can exist in a positive light. Huh. I like that. I like that. I'm going to let that sink in. I'm going to let that marinate a bit. I like that. All right. Thank you all so much for kicking it with me today. I appreciate you. You guys are the best. I love you. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. That's still a couple days away, I guess. I got some radio shows to do. I'll be around. I'll be around. I'm just saying, I'm preparing you for Memorial Day weekend. Appreciate you guys. Love you to death. See you on the next one.